Now here's something, yeah? Sending files. Now what would you call that? I would call something new like that and strange. An easy sign of if someone wanted to send some files, like sending a phone call from one area to the other and it's transferring the phone call. What would you call it? You'll have to let me know in comments, as you guys are probably the ones doing it. So let me know. Or you can go, what are you talking about? You're crazy. I know that a lot of people that like to hide things might say things like that. But you let me know if you've seen that before, as I'll know what a real answer is. Or what an answer is with no answer. You know what I mean, people? In certain areas. Means they're not educated, don't care, don't want to help anyone. All these things in all these fields. In a world of shitloads of fields. Land of confusion, you can call it. But we're loading up. I want to see how long this lasts with the sending the files. If you're a person that connects like me and to help out fully, show me a clip of it happening to you. It's the best way to confirm things. Yeah, look, man, I've had this happen to me. You can say it, right? But if you've got a clip, even better. So I like to have clips so I can be one of those dudes. You know what I mean? I'd rather be one of those dudes with the receipt kind of thing than the one without it. Get more trustworthy than the one without it. Let me know in comments if you think the same thing. Yeah. I would call this another step of habitual time wasting. What do you reckon? Type of things. They like to use such lines, you know what I mean? But really, in the end, no time's wasted because someone gains something for wasting. You know, you can just teach people the same shit over and over again, waste their time. But then they gain that you're a zombie. You only know movies and stuff. Have you ever heard people say that to people? You don't know much, mate. You've only been watching all these movies the last few years, and there's people that, what do you know? You know movies. And as you've been watching that, you're actually losing college education, this education, because that's how the brain works. Don't use it, you lose it. So just think about 3 years ago, how fresh are you from now, right? And then what have you gained? Right? And some people just go overboard in certain areas. I learned that by playing video games. But yet, I chose that because I was sick a lot. But then I found out when I'm sick a lot, instead of playing video games a lot, I decided to do other things when you're sick. Which is why I talked about sick people should be in fields of speech and knowledge. Best example of that, we all know that fella who recently died in a wheelchair. The best minds in the disability sector, and they're wasted in some area. But you've got to first educate them. And you find that out in the lower education. Primary and high school, and then college if you can. With some of them can skip college, definitely in special areas, and they're usually different and unique to do something in another place like a college. But for them, quite interesting, eh? All I've got is a whole bunch of, there are like Centrelink changes here. They try to change things on YouTube for the better. But then they just make things worse in other areas. Like there's more problems of the betterness that they make. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's best to go back. Definitely with Centrelink here, issues have had it right. They just use the old tactic where, because of others abuse that rightness and easiness, they decided to go another way, and they're still in a land of confusion now, doing all these changes, trying to get it right when they've had it right before. Have you ever seen sectors like that? And because people use and abuse it, like freedom of weapons and stuff like that, these short groups, they just go, they can't get it right by educating or just punishing these groups to make sure these groups get smaller, and show them that education is not a good thing to have, right? But when you're punishing whole groups on things, when you're taking their free will to defend themselves against people who can have these same weapons, right, and easily able to get them or make them. When it comes to knives, they're easy to make. Just ask people in jail how to make stabbing weapons. So they're pros at that. So you make the people who are more righteous. I never practiced doing a knife. They told me not to. Now he's got no self-defense. You've taken away. But they could easily still have that. They'll still be good people. It's been proven. But we know in human history, it's been proven that we get leaders that get lazy and dominating. Dominating usually, typically the lazy ones that have this their list kind of thing. You know, their list differences by taste and stuff like that. Some people, like I said, like the rain, don't mind the rain and all that. But you've got to have priority standards, like priority, same standards, best connection and everything. And then people would know what they're getting into with all the rest. At least they can still defend and do all that kind of thing. It's the best thing. We can get world connections. It's allowing everyone to defend, in my belief. Everyone should have. Americans believe that they're the freest, and that, well, they get to have weapons. Well, I believe to be free, you should at least have a weapon. And if you prove that you can handle that weapon and you'll take the responsibilities of that weapon, that's all you need to know. And anyone can do anything with that. That's what being human is. The human brain. You've got the same contract with the human brain. Education, what you're going to do with it, isn't that? The choices you make. And anyway. Interesting. Now I wonder if that's going to load up. I've seen it earlier. A couple of the other clips here. And I've only just noticed it today. And it doesn't want to show us anymore at the moment. But I've seen it on the other channel. It's on this one at the moment. I did the same thing. Oh, hey, I'm going to record it off this one. On the way of living. Now it is a little bit of a long clip, so I've got to sit here. It's all time wasted. Wasting time. To see this bullshit, which I'm about to finish. See, I've been blabbing here at home, I want something to do and all that. You know what the devil does? He goes, you get this. You want something to do. I don't want that. Shit. We'll give him something, all what he doesn't want. That way you just get rid of himself. Yeah, I get it. Shit. I don't think Jesus would want to come back. My boomerang won't come back. Hey, babies? It's flying around out there. I wouldn't. And if I did, I would want to come back invincible to your bullshit. Humans bullshit. You know what I mean? Let me know in comments what you would believe. If Jesus come back, and things he's gone through, he's going to come back all love and go, I love pain. I love that you make me suffer. I love that you don't learn. If you do it again, I'm just going to take it. Or will he go, fuck that. I ain't going to at least take this, daddy, when I go back. I'm going to be fully shielded because I've had previous experience. Have you ever gone through something bad? You might get the more of a right answer than someone likes to blab. So let me know in comments what you would want to protect you when you come back. Shield. Your ultimate reality. So you're there, but you're not there. So anything shit you just goes through you. Inhuman crap. Most people probably pick that one. So you add up this, time wasting, then you add up the next loading phase and all the other time wasting. The power of the speed of the internet you're in area. Right? Which I'm running through Wi-Fi at the moment. Of how much time you got to waste. Now, sometimes you don't have to watch anything. After this video, I won't do this again. Right? But that's how much time you're going to have to wait before you can put it up. And if you don't want to make playlists and other things, if you're waiting on the clip, you're now going to have to wait longer. so you can make another clip. Sometimes I do a clip, put it up, put it in the playlist, and then I make another clip to go with it. And I try to load, I might make up a few and then load them all up at once. But sometimes I wait for clips. And so this would be just a pain in the rectum, wouldn't it? Bam, bam, babies, go! Now, like I said, when it comes to signs out there, you might hear signs, you go, it's pissed me off, that's the devil sign, and then there's positive signs. Right? Only you can know about that when it comes to things like Right, I'm getting the babies giving me a good sign. Just like they gave me a good sign after a negative sign. That something's around to help me out when you ask something to be good or something, and it finally does for a bit. Even though you know it's going to play up again. If it finally listens, then you go, it's on my side. But when it doesn't listen and it continues not, you go, it's not on my side. This is not helping out. Right? Where am I learning a lesson? Have I put up with this in my life before? How much have I put up with this? Is the noise valid? Have they got a legit complaint? All those type of things. When it comes to my birdies, they don't really have a legit complaint, yelling and screaming. When I only do videos every now and then, as you can see, there's only a little bit of my time in life, besides this, that we get in our lives by great others that make a great lot of money. And it just is in the end, from some great others, they call these just is. Oh, just is. Oh, okay. It just is. What do you reckon, people? Just is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where is the just is, you just is. I heard about lefties. But what about the just is? They can be in both sectors. You know what I mean? The just is. Just is, man. Oh, okay. The just is. Mm-hmm. See, back in the day, I used to draw pictures and stuff like that around trouble, waiting for people and stuff like that. Now we got phones. I said I would have had a lot of this shit back in the day if I was a kid. Instead of drawing. Might have done a bit of drawing too, but then gone on the phone, sitting here looking at a rock. The juice is. See, kids should do that more often. Show what they're doing out there. When they get in trouble and shit, or someone says they don't know them, and go, you believe you don't know me, or at least I'll show you the good and the bad of me, right? And the boring of me if you want. And put it up. You can get to your parents too when you're bored. A lot of cases could be a parent thing or some company thing fucking them around thinking they're the greatest and they're failing in their job. You're waiting for a bus. Overload system. Shows a lot, doesn't it? Doing certain things. As long as it's not on the not to do list, but that nakeds and talking about sex stuff and all these kind of things, you know, there's still that world priority kind of Bible standards. Otherwise, you get an outcome collectively from us of what we've learned, right, when it comes to the knowledge we've used. If we get it right one day, you know what I mean? Till then, you can't even do what I'm talking about, really. You don't want actually kids posting, which is sad, isn't it? See how I told you one thing, and then people assume it. If I like that, people assume it. Go, hey, what's it? Yeah, but you need to know more. There's always more. And that's why we talk and communicate. But talking behind the scenes and assuming, that gets nowhere. It's just bullying, actually, in the end, I believe. Or people who are just childish. They like to speak before they go. There's a teenager left college and they're know-it-alls, you know, those ones. And they haven't learnt in that field of what they're doing. That's why I like to reply back to comments if I can. In the end, there's some people you shouldn't just reply back. They like it, stuff like that. They don't learn. They can't learn it, things like that. But a lot of times, you should always fix the fight, reply back. Show them what it feels like when you say such things. You give it back to them. Right? And then, you know, when you give it back to them and you feel righteously like making someone eat their words, it feels good. Right? Like a bad guy, right? That's what I get. Feels good hurting you. You walk off and cry in the corner and they feel good. Well, I feel good when that bad guy gets into trouble. The person in the corner now gets the Ferrari the bad guy was laughing about that he believed that he couldn't get. Right? and the bad guy never gets a priority. That's fucking funny. Huh? Go cry in the corner. I can feel that now. Now I feel that feeling. That's how I get that one. That feels good. But the other way, I don't feel good when I'm the other one. The arsehole. Doesn't feel good. And sometimes you do something that doesn't feel good because it could be different in you too. But you do it for a while. Do it 3 or 4 or 5 times. It's like eating something new. You know, when you eat something new, you go, oh, that just tastes like shit. Or it's just not right. It's not gonna have. It's just not great straight away. Well, sometimes you got to have it a little bit more. Depends on how bad it is or how much of a feeling you get wrong. Right? You know, bad food, you're never going to try again. You know, it's really, really bad. It's the same thing with your feelings and the actions you do to people. Right? But then there's in-betweens. Ripping off someone behind the scenes, as long as they don't know about it, I can do it, makes me feel good. But then later on they get poor and they run out of money and you took all their money. Religions do this a lot. We have problems with people going back to churches and that you took all their money behind the scenes, or you knew you did. You took millions, and then because you like to spend or send it on your ideas, and they come back and just ask for a little bit, and you talk about giving back what you received, which is what they say, but then they can't. And they go, sorry, I'll give it to this person, that person, in my needs and that. And you are true. You have to just give some more. Right? They hear that all the time, which is actually failing in their area because of that. Anyways, waiting for a little bit more. Now, they're doing this to check up videos. Now, I'd say if you expect to want people to check up more things before they're released, right, you'd expect more delay. So you'd at least expect the longest delay on that would be, say, chuck on a few minutes of someone who has to click on it. Depends on how long the line is, or an AI to get to it, or whatever flags. And then they'll have to watch it in real time. An AI might have to watch it a bit quicker, right? And that time would be the expected time you'd have as you figure out that technology or the people power to solve that area, wouldn't you? In righteous delay, right? And then there's just delay because they're lazy and fucking up in their area and shit. See, everything has a balance. Right? And I didn't want to speak too much in a lot of areas and leave things open because otherwise if people are hacking and stealing and writing down your shit, they love to say that, right? And then recopying it, then you're giving away everything. And that's just stupid, isn't it? So I speak to I'm speaking to the people who are stealing in a lot of cases, okay? To try to help that area. And I do that as well with the comments I'm receiving. Yeah? Simple as that. And what I'm receiving around me as well. This is what I also talk about first on a channel where you talk about yourselves solving things. But it looks like it just loads up. Well, there you go. Good thing about truth and honesty. It's new when you see it first. You know what I mean? They say so it's stronger than fighting for money for something else, but you know it's not truth and honesty.